Okay. So as we can see, in this section we've learned that these are proportional parts, that this over this equals this over this, and we set up that proportion here. However, the problem with that is, obviously, one equation and two unknowns, we can't solve that, can we? And that looks like a complete and utter mess, doesn't it? I don't think anybody here wants to try to solve it. So what you kind of have to say to yourself is, obviously, there must be something more there in this problem. Or it's a, you know, 1 out of 100 times it might be a typo. You know, you skip and you come back to it. But you'll find when you go on to the next one that it probably isn't, because it's almost the exact same thing. This is number what? 8 on 7.4. Now, so what you've got to do is look back at the picture. You kind of went to the obvious thing. Is there any other information that was given to us that stands out in that picture when you look at it? Any other information?
Two sides are congruent.
They stated that that is congruent to that, did they not? Is that not an equation? Can I not, if this distance is equal to this distance, right? Then doesn't 3y equal what? 1/2 y plus 20? Now, is that an equation we can solve? Absolutely. So, subtract 1/2 y, and I get what, 2.5 y? Well, I need to change that to what? 5 over 2y is equal to 20. Multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Y is equal to 8. Now, what does the problem ask for? X and Y? Okay. Now, here's my deal. We do know that these ratios have to be equal, don't they? What's the ratio of this one to this one? 1 to 1, isn't it? So if these two are congruent, what do these have to be? So 20 minus 3x is equal to what? 2x minus 5. And the thing to remember here is you did need some, you did have to, whether, you know, you could have gone, oh, it looks like they're equal, but there had to be a reason. And the reason is we know that this over this, whatever this divided by this is, got to be the same as this divided by this. Well, if these are the same, then these two divided is a ratio of 1 to 1, right? So that means this has to be a ratio of what? 1 to 1, meaning they have to be equal. That's why I could go ahead and write this equation. So if you look at the next one, isn't it the exact same concept? And the ratios still have to be equal because you have 3 parallel lines there. So your two equations are 12 minus 3y is equal to 16 minus 5y. Then over on the other side, 1/4 x plus 6 is equal to what? 2x minus 29. Okay? That one, like I said, I understand. That one kind of threw you off because it really... The only really thing from this section you used was after you found y here, you went over to here and you knew since they're the same ratio, you knew you could tell those had to be congruent as well. Okay? Now, another way you could have done it, let's say you solved for this. You plugged it back in and got numbers for each of these, right? Then you could have done this over this equals what? That over that, right? Okay? Any other questions? That kind of, is that the ones you guys all had problems with?